Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today we're going to be talking about the New York Giants potentially trading for Derek Carr. And this is an addition for the New York Giants that I'd really love at the quarterback position this year. And Derek Carr, I believe, would have a lot of success in New York. And if he didn't, I don't know how I really don't know how you could fail with the potential offense that's going to be with the New York Giants next season. And let's get into that. All right. So obviously we know that Derek Carr is going to be on the trade block this year for the Saints. Giants need a quarterback. We've heard about Sam Darnold. And that would be a great option for this Giants offense. But I think he's getting pursued heavily elsewhere. I think Las Vegas is going to throw a lot of money to Sam Darnold. So I'm not going to say it's impossible for the Giants to land Sam Darnold, but I think Derek Carr is a good plan B if you can't sign Sam Darnold. And I definitely have heard of the idea of drafting Jalen Milroe in the second round, which I think is a terrific idea. But, I mean, who in their right mind is going to you don't want week one Jalen Milroe being your starting quarterback, right? I think it's great to have a quarterback to start off the season, and, Derek Carr can start off the year with the Giants, and if he doesn't play well and they aren't winning games, you bring in Jalen Milroe and he gets the keys. But if Derek Carr continues to have success, you continue to let him do what he's doing, and I think you can take your time with Jalen Miller as a project potentially. Like Derek Carr has 2 years left on his contract, and I think it would be a really solid trade for the Giants because, like with Sam Darnold, let's just imagine that Sam Darnold, you're gonna have to sign him to a multi-year deal. You're talking about a 4 to 5 year deal that I think Sam Darnold's going to be asking for, and that's what the Giants are going to have to do. Sam Darnold's going to be looking at contracts like Daniel Jones. Truly, the Giants. This is actually literally the Giants' fault. They started this. We're talking about guys, and it's been in a little bit of a repeat because it started with Daniel Jones. Contracts like Daniel Jones and Geno Smith got a couple years ago in free agency, and then Baker last year, and so Sam Darnold is going to ask for that kind of money and that same kind of contract. And so do you want to give a quarterback, Sam Darnold, who is great, 4-year, 5-year deal when we have not seen what this guy's going to look like without Kevin O'Connell? I mean, I'm not saying I don't think he's going to play well once he leaves the Vikings, or if he does leave the Vikings and leaves Kevin O'Connell. But I definitely think there will be a little bit of a step back because it's not just leaving Kevin O'Connell and his great offense, it's also leaving Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and those two guys. But I guess if you're going to leave two great wide receivers, I guess you just join two other great wide receivers in Malik Neighbors and potentially Travis Hunter as well. So I guess it's kind of the same thing for Sam Darnold. So I think he'd be a good option, but I just think it's another risk of for a 4 or 5 year deal with a quarterback. And if you're a GM, like the Giants GM, that could be a death sentence to your job if you hand out another huge deal to a quarterback and that doesn't work out. You can already start packing up your boxes and get ready to walk out the door. And that'd be the same thing for Brian Daboll. Do you really want to screw that up? With Derek Carr, I think it's a little bit different because Derek Carr only has 2 years left on his deal. We're not talking about who's a better quarterback here, whether it's Carr or Darnold. We're talking about what's a smarter decision, whether it's giving a lot of money on a 4 or 5 year to Darnold, or it's trading not that. I don't think Carr's worth that much in trade value. I think at the most a 5th, 4th round pick. So we're talking about a mid-draft pick to land a quarterback who I'm not going to act like Derek Carr has been amazing, but he hasn't been bad. I mean, this year he played 10 games. The team was 5-5 when he played. His completion percentage was 67%. He threw for almost 2,200 passing yards this year with 15 passing touchdowns and 5 picks. He wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible. And also, not only that, but I mean, he did play a lot. I mean, not all of it, not all of his playing time, but about half or maybe almost half of his playing time was without his top wide receivers. Because you remember, Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed were out for a good part of the season this year, and Derek Carr was a better quarterback when those two guys were on the field. So could you imagine Derek Carr with Travis Hunter and Malik Neighbors? And here's the thing: if it doesn't work out, if he doesn't play good, I don't think it's that much of a death sentence for the Saints because Derek Carr signed a 4-year, $150 million deal. That sounds really bad. That sounds like a Daniel Jones bad, right? But good thing is that the contract has already had 2 years removed. He's played 2 seasons in New Orleans, and there's only 2 years left of that deal that Derek Carr signed a couple years ago left. So only 2 years left of the deal. When you trade him, he plays 1 year, and after that season, as the starter with the Giants, he has 1 year left on his deal, and that's when you can make a decision. Do we want this guy back in 2026, or do we get rid of him and hand the keys to Jalen Milrow? And I think that makes it a lot easier, right? Instead of trading for a guy like a Kirk Cousins or signing a Sam Darnold, who have many more years left on their contract compared to Carr, who only has 2. So, also not gonna lie, look, I think Kirk Cousins has been great with Michael Penix Jr. And I think he's a good mentor. And I'm sure Darnold's been good with J.J. McCarthy as well. But I think Derek Carr is probably one of the best quarterbacks you can find in this league to maybe be an advisor or a teacher to a rookie quarterback. So if you're going to draft a Jalen Milrow or someone else in the draft, I think Derek Carr can be great for a guy like that. I think we've heard this year. I've heard Spencer Rattler talk about it. I've heard them say it while watching a Saints game, how Spencer Rattler has told people how great Derek Carr has been there for him and teaching him things, and it's just been great there for him. And I think we started to see a little bit of development at the end of the year for Spencer Rattler. I think we started to see some real improvement at the end of the year for Rattler and the Saints, and he looked pretty good in the last couple of games of the season, if you ask me, and was making some solid throws, not having his 2 number 1 wide receivers out on the field. And I think Derek Carr could be a great teacher for a rookie quarterback like Jalen Milrow or whoever they draft, whether it's Quinn Ewers or someone like that. So that's another thing that I think would be a good thing, a good reason to add in Derek Carr. But I guess Giants fans don't want this to happen, but I think this is probably one of the best options for the Giants if you're going to add in a veteran quarterback. You don't have to add in a guy who's going to be in a very, very long-term situation like Darnold or Kirk Cousins. And then I think out of those 3 guys, Darnold, Cousins, and Carr, I think Derek Carr is the best guy that can be a learning piece for a rookie quarterback like Jalen Milrow or whoever the Giants were to draft in this year's draft. So let me know your thoughts on the Giants potentially trading for Derek Carr in the comment section, and peace out.